Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Boxes of Comics. I'm your host, Chase Higgins, and this week, as promised, we are going over the new edition of the Marvel Encyclopedia, starting with the A's. So, first up is Abomination, and Abomination has been in a couple of different Marvel movies now, and he was the main villain in the 2008 Incredible Hulk, and he was in Shang-Chi, and now he's in the She-Hulk series. So let's read about him. It says real name is Emil Blonsky. He's a criminal and mobile. He's 6'8", 980 pounds, with green eyes and no hair. His first appearance in Marvel Comics was Tales to Astonish number 90. It says, back in Yugoslavia, Emil Blonsky became a spy and infiltrated the U.S. Air Force Base where scientist Bruce Banner was stationed and discovered gamma radiation equipment, with which Banner intended to commit suicide. Irradiating himself, Blonsky became the monstrous Abomination. The Abomination battled Hulk multiple times. Their struggles were interrupted when the stranger kidnapped an Abomination into space for study. He would wound up serving as the first mate of the starship Andromeda. After returning to Earth, he became the pawn of many villains, including MODOK, Mephisto, and Tyrannus. The Abomination is even stronger than the Hulk. His body is covered with reptilian scales. Next up is Abyss. Says Abyss first appeared in Avengers number 1 of February 2013. Occupation Destroyer. Base Mars. Eyes black, hair black. Special powers. Abyss is made of living gas, which makes her invulnerable to most physical attacks. She can manipulate the minds of others, whom she involves in with a sphere of gas. Then we have the Absorbing Man. His real name is Carl Crusher Creel. He is a criminal and his base is mobile. He's 6'4", weighs 365 pounds, with blue eyes and no hair. He first appeared into Journey into Mystery number 114 of March 1965. Absorbing Man can magically duplicate within himself the physical and mystical properties of anything he touches, including various forms of energy. If his body is broken into pieces while he is in the non-human state, he can mentally reassemble it. Interesting. You then have Adversary. First appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 188 of December 1984. His real name is unknown. His occupation is an ancient deity. Special abilities and powers can assume any form he desires, may be fought successfully through magic, but not through most forms of physical force, vulnerable to iron, steel, and adamantium. Interesting. Moving on, we have A-Force. A-Force was the all-female security team of Arcadia, a domain of Doctor Doom's battle world. Members and powers: Singularity, Dazzler, Sister Grimm, Queen Medusa, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel. Their base is also mobile, and their first appearance was A-Force number 1 of May 2015. Next, we have... These are some weird names I'm struggling with. Agamemnon. 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 First appearance, Incredible Hulk 381 of May 1991. His real name is Val Halfling. He is a godlike observer. The mountain base in Arizona is his base. He's 5'7", 140 pounds, with brown eyes, brown hair. Virtually immortal, projects a holograph of himself as an old bearded man so that way no one suspects he truly looks like a teenage boy. He is the son of Loki and a mortal mother. Okay. Agent X. His first appearance of Agent X. September 2002. His real name was Niho. Occupation is a mercenary. Base is mobile. His height is 6'2". He weighs 210 pounds. Has brown hair or brown eyes and no hair. His special abilities is augmented strength, agility, and dexterity. Superhuman regenerative abilities, certain advanced mental abilities, enhanced skills as a marksman. So let me show you that page. So that was the first page. Moving on. The Age of Ultron. Well, with New York destroyed and the rest of the planet about to follow suit, Hawkeye rescues Spider-Man and brings him beneath Central Park to reunite with the surviving Avengers. Ultron created thousands of Ultrons and they set about conquering the world one city at a time. Luke Cage cradles the dead body of She-Hulk, killed by Ultron bots. After the events of Annihilation, Ultron, the human-hating, artificially intelligent robot created by Hank Pym, returned to Earth in an inactive body of Galadorian Space Knight. The intelligentsia found it and tried to activate it, but the Avengers intervened. During the ensuing battle, Ultron reawakened in his new body and escaped. With two Wolverines from different universes trapped in the past, the one from Age of Ultron sacrificed himself so the other could return to his repaired timeline. Ultron hated humanity and wanted to see the entire race extinguished. A different time, the death of Hank Pym caused a butterfly effect that created a whole new universe in which a cyborg Iron Man led S.H.I.E.L.D. in a war that pitted his technology against the magical forces of Morgan Le Fay. Earth's mightiest heroes were the Defenders, which included Cable as Cyclops, Captain Marvel, the Wasp, Colonel America, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Hulk, Star-Lord, the Thing, and Wolverine. This world's Iron Man told Wolverine how he could repair the timeline and defeat Ultron. During an attack by Le Fay's army, Invisible Woman and both Wolverines escaped and set out to implement that plan. So let me show you that picture. This artwork is pretty interesting and kind of, I feel like, goes into a bit more detail than the other one didn't, and probably like, I feel like it gives certain issue numbers and release dates that the other one didn't, so that way you know exactly what to look for if you're interested. Next up is the Agent of Atlas, a security team with a shady reputation. Gorilla Man, Human Robot, Namora, the Uranian, Venus, Jimmy Woo. Jimmy Woo! He's in the MCU, and he is in WandaVision. He is in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and played by John Krasinski. If you get that joke. Their first appearance was Agents of Atlas #1 of October 2006. In 1958, FBI agent Jimmy Woo formed a group of heroes called the G-Men to rescue President Eisenhower from the Golden Claw. Working with S.H.I.E.L.D. decades later, Jimmy reformed the team to investigate a shadowy organization known as the Atlas Foundation, based in the Temple of Atlas. They took on the Dark Reign, Turf Wars, Ahab, Airwalker, Ajak, and Liz Allen. Okay, moving on. Elizabeth, aka Liz Allen, is a talented CAO who formed her own multinational and multi-billion-dollar business empire. Liz was a popular student at Midtown High, and Peter Parker had a crush on her, but they went on to become good friends. After high school, Liz became a nurse and cared for her stepbrother, Molten Man. Soon she met and fell in love with Harry Osborn. They married and had a son named Norman Osborn after Harry's dead father. After the seeming deaths of Harry and Norman, Liz took over the role of CEO of Oscorp, but lost position when Norman returned from the grave to take back the company. Eventually, Liz formed her own corporation named Allen Chemicals that specialized in scientific research. Goblin Child was a vicious and jealous villain with a range of different superpowers. Her real name is Elizabeth Allen. Occupation is a businesswoman. Her base is mobile. She's 5'9", 135 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. First appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15. First appearance of Spider-Man. Let me show you those. Moving on is Armbuster Colonel. First appeared. Hang on. Okay. Armbuster Colonel. First appeared in Incredible Hulk 164. Real name is Colonel John D. Jack Armbuster. Then there's Armageddon. His real name is Armcheddon. Occupation Warlord of Trilon. He's 9 feet tall with yellow eyes and gray hair. After that, you have Armory. First appeared in Avengers: The Initiative, April 2007. Her real name is Violet Lightner. She's a former hero in Camp Hammond, Connecticut. Then you have Oron, the Rogue Watcher. First appeared in Captain Marvel number 39. He has a cosmic meddler, an intergalactic base. His eyes are white, yellow when angry. He has no hair, but has vast cosmic abilities, changed appearance at will, able to move between dimensions. Atlanta first appeared in the Incredible Hulk number 376. She is a Pantheon operative of Mount Southwestern United States, 5'10", with blue eyes, black hair, and can wield a bow and arrow composed of unknown forms of energy. Then you have the Asgardians of the Galaxy. Angela, the Asgardian assassin Valkyrie, and her host, the archaeological Annabelle Riggs, the Destroyer, Scourge, the Executioner, Thunderstrike, and Throg, the Thunder Frog, formed the Asgardians of the Galaxy, a team of renegade heroes and gods brought together by Kid Loki to stop Nebula taking over the universe. But with Nebula already amassing a huge army, it proved a rough task. While recruiting her crew, Angela sought out Annabelle Riggs, not because of her connection to Valkyrie, but because of her knowledge of ancient languages. At first, only Angela knew that Kid Loki, a version of Loki, long thought dead, had concealed himself using the Destroyer and was the real power behind the team. Interesting. Moving on to Atlanteans. Atlantis was once a small continent in the Atlantic Ocean, the cradle of an advanced civilization. It sank into the sea about 20,000 years ago, and about 10,000, a genetic offshoot of a man evolved the ability to live underwater. These mermen discovered the ruins left by ancient Atlanteans and settled in them. Some notable Atlanteans in the Marvel Universe is Prince Namor, ruler of Atlantis and in Black Panther 2. Which is interesting. I'm curious to see how that goes. Then after that, you have Lady Dorma, Namor's first royal consort, Atuma, barbarian warlord. Krang the Super. Vashti, Namor's grand visor. Lady Fen, Namor's mother. Namora, Namor's cousin. Namorita, clone of Namora. And Beamer, a would-be usurper. First appearance is Fantastic Four, annual number 1 of 1963. So, that's interesting because I know they're supposedly trying to, or are rumored to be in Black Panther 2. And then also they're saying Namor might be in Fantastic Four. So that'll be interesting to see if that picks up. So moving on from Atlanteans, we have the Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. Factile key members see individual entries for powers. You have Thor, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Wasp, Hulk, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Wonder Man, Hawkeye, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Black Panther, Black Widow, Hercules, Black Knight, She-Hulk, Spectrum, Quasar, Crystal, Circe, Ant-Man, and many others. They are based in Avengers Mountain, the Arctic Circle, formerly Stark Tower, Manhattan, and Avengers Mansion, Manhattan. They first appeared in Avengers number 1 of September of 1963. Their allies are Rick Jones, Edwin Jarvis, and the Fantastic Four, while their foes include Space Phantom, the Lava Man, the Mole Man, Baron Zemo, Kang, Ultron, the Collector, Grandmaster, Electro, Sauron, Madam Hydra. Issue number 1 was written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, and inked by Dick Ayers. The first issue of the Avengers guest starred Rick Jones, the Teen Brigade, and the Fantastic Four. And I have that issue, actually, in a hardcover. Moving on, you have the Ultimates. On a parallel Earth, government scientists created a super soldier formula but lost it when Captain America disappeared. Many years later, Dr. Bruce Banner was hired to recreate it. Working out of a run-down research facility in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he engaged in secret superhuman trials, transforming himself into the rampaging Hulk. Nick Fury took custody of Banner and ordered him to complete his research in order to create a new super team called the Ultimates. This team included Hank Pym, cybertronics expert of World Authority on Supergenetics on Earth 616, and unrelated team of heroes called themselves the Ultimate, consisting of Captain Marvel, Black Panther, the Spectrum, America Chavez, Blue Marvel. The team faced cosmic threats to Earth such as Galactics and the Infinite. When King the Conqueror and his son Marcus waged all-out war against Earth, the Avengers led the planet's defensive effort. Although King temporarily succeeded in subduing the entire world, the Avengers led a resistance movement that eventually overthrew King's dynasty. Heroes reborn and returned. At one point, the Avengers became embroiled in an epic battle with the villain Onslaught, and they, the Fantastic Four, and Doctor Doom were all presumed to be perished. Actually, Franklin Richards had used his reality-altering powers to save them at the last moment and transport them into a pocket dimension of his own creation, which he featured a copy of Earth called Counter-Earth. They came back after a year. Counter-Earth became situated on the opposite side of the sun from the Earth. Interesting. Avengers Initiative. As part of the 50-state initiative, S.H.I.E.L.D. created a place for training new superheroes at camp. Located in the heart of Stamford, Connecticut, Hank Pym originally served as the administrator of the camp, but during the secret invasion, he was revealed to be a Skrull imposter who used his position to place other Skrulls on initiative teams around the country. Osborn, in his new job as the head of Hammer, his replacement for S.H.I.E.L.D., exploited and scandal to shut down the initiative. However, the idea behind it, training young heroes for eventual membership into the Avengers, refused to die. Avengers versus X-Men. When the Phoenix Force was found to be returning to Earth, the Avengers sought to take the X-Men's Hope Summers into protective custody, as it seemed the Force was heading directly for her. Cyclops refused to hand her over, resulting in a conflict between the two teams. It was a conflict that ended with a Phoenix-empowered Cyclops killing Professor X, only to have his powers stripped away by the Scarlet Witch and Hope. Interesting. Avenging Heroes. There have been many Avengers splinter groups. Sunspot led a team called Avengers Ideas Mechanics after taking over AIM Island and tried to use AIM's technology for good, while Hank Pym created the Avengers AI team to combat cyber threats. Perhaps the strangest Avengers team was created at the dawn of humankind, made up by Lady Phoenix, a young Odin, Black Panther, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, Agamemnon, and Starbound. They came together to defeat an insane celestial named Zagreb. Interesting. Moving on, we have Avengers West Coast. Founding members are Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Iron Man, Tigra, Wonder Man. Additional members are Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, or Spider-Woman, War Machine, U.S. Agent, Human Torch, James Hammond, The Living Lightning, and Moon Knight. Current members are Kate Bishop, Clint Barton, Kid Omega, Gwenpool, Fuse, and America Chavez. They are located in Venice, LA. First appearance was in September of 1984. Moving on, we have Azazel. First appearance in the Uncanny X-Men 428, October 2003. Name is Azazel. Occupation as a conqueror. Base La Isla de Demonas, off the coast of Florida. The Brimstone. 5'11", with black hair, black eyes, gray hair, and the full extent of his powers is unknown, but he can teleport himself, take on a human form, and mentally influence his offspring. Moving on, we have Aisha. Marvel 2-in-1, number 61, March of 1980 was their full appearance. Their real name is Paragon. Occupation, none. Base is outer space. He's 6'6", weighs 390 pounds. White hair, or white eyes, blonde hair, and can control cosmic energy, which prevents aging, using the energy to rearrange matter, project concussive blasts to fly, and to open cosmic rifts in space. And that does it for our A's. So next week, we move on to our B's. Not our B's, the restaurant, but the B's of the Marvel Universe. And I think this is pretty cool. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope you come next week to learn about the B's of the Marvel Universe. Have a great day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.